Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please read the rules.
Sure. Councilman Pavoli?
Here.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Here.
Councilwoman Mora? Here. Supervisor Esposito?
Present. Okay, also present is our town attorney, Gerard Parisi. Legal counsel for the town board. Maybe if I get tired of reading all these, you can step in. Be it resolved that the firm of Parisi, Cohen, and Shikosio, PLLC, is appointed as attorney for the town for $39,000 per year to be paid monthly in allotments. The scope of the work is as follows: attendance at town board meetings, review of bid proposals, contracts, leases, deeds, and other legal documents, consultation with the town board members and elected officials as it pertains to town legal matters. The scope of the work does not include any matters outside the preparation for and attendance at the meetings described above, such as litigation, negotiations, or issues requiring more than nominal effort and the commitment of resources on the part of the law firm of Parisi, Cohen, and Shikosio for a term to expire on 12/31/23. Be it resolved that Supervisor Esposito is hereby authorized to sign the contract for legal services provided by the law firm of Parisi, Cohen, and Shikosio, PLLC, for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Pavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Resolution passed. You can read this one, Crystal.
Legal counsel for planning. Be it resolved that the law firm of Parisi, Cohen, and Shikosio, PLLC, for a term to expire 12/31/2023, is appointed as legal counsel to the planning and zoning boards at a cost of $4,000 for planning board, $1,000 for ZBA, and $1,000 for ZRC to be paid monthly. The scope of work is attendance at regularly scheduled meetings, review of agendas, resolutions, and any other matters in preparation for such meetings. The scope of work does not include any matters outside the preparation and attendance at all meetings described above, such as litigation preparation and zoning issues requiring more than normal effort and or commitment of resources on the part of the firm of Parisi, Cohen, and Shikosio, PLLC. Be it resolved that Supervisor Esposito is hereby authorized to sign a contract for Parisi, Cohen, and Shikosio, PLLC for services rendered to the Princetown Planning Board, the Princetown ZBA, and the Princetown ZRC for a term to expire 12/31/23.
Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. I want to thank Gerard for sticking around for another year. He was contemplating leaving us, but
He can't leave.
a little bit of persuasion.
Lock the doors.
We didn't have, we had to twist his arm and he finally gave in. Thank you, Gerard, for sticking with us. Assessor's assistant. I'll read this one, it's a short one. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Isla Mead is appointed the assessor's assistant at a salary not to exceed $19,758 for a term to expire on 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Bookkeeper to the supervisor. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Isla Mead is appointed supervisor and bookkeeper at a salary of $9,067 per year for a term to expire on 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Water clerk. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Isla Mead is appointed water clerk at an annual salary of $4,474 for a term to expire 12/31/23, reporting directly to the town board. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Town official salary. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that the town be paid the salaries as set forth in the adopted 2023 budget. Town supervisor, $8,317. Town board members, $5,478. Highway superintendent, $5,410. Town clerk, $33,297. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Okay.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Newsletter appointment. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that James Pavoldi be appointed as a newsletter publisher at an hourly rate of $17.22 for a total yearly budget not to exceed $624 and a term to expire 12/31/23. Boy, that's a big salary, Jim. I don't know.
Yeah.
Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Abstain.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Historian, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Richard Daly is appointed at Princetown Town Historian at $946 yearly for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
motion. Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Water operators. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Rick Rohr be appointed as a licensed water operator at a rate of $26.01 per hour for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Water operators. On the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Wesley Blessing be appointed as a water operator at a rate of $26.01 per hour for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I do have discussion. Does he, where does he stand in terms of getting his license?
He's just got to go take the test now. That's all he has to
He's
do.
taking the class.
Yeah, all he has to do is sign up to take the test and he's going to be licensed. According to Clark, it takes about 4 hours of his time
Yeah.
to take the test.
Okay.
He's certainly qualified now.
All right. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Is there any other further discussion? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Water operators. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Eugene Russo be appointed as a water operator at a rate of $19.39 per hour for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. I just wanted to make a point over here about the salaries for the town board. We did not, the town board did not get a raise last year. Town board agreed to hold it at its previous year's salary. I just wanted everybody to know that, so. Fire warden. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Wes Blessing be appointed fire warden at an annual salary of $949 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Schenectady County Stormwater Management Liaison. Upon motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Eugene Brusso be appointed county liaison for stormwater management at $17.21 per hour for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. Town newspaper, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that the Daily Gazette be designated as the official town newspaper. Discussion? Is there a motion? I'll make it.
Second.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. Town registrar, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved, the town clerk, Crystal Coleman, be appointed as registrar at a salary of $100 per year for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go
Second.
ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. Record management officer, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that town clerk Crystal Coleman will be appointed records management officer for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. FOIL officer, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved the town clerk Crystal Coleman will be appointed Princetown FOIL officer for a term to expire 12/31/23. Is there a discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Awesome.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. FOIL officer, FOIL's appeal officer, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that Gerard Parisi be appointed town's FOIL appeals officer for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. Deputy town clerk, be upon the motion and seconded by council member, be it resolved that deputy town clerk's salary is $17.83 per hour, not to exceed the budgeted amount of $2,800, term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
Do we need to put her name in here?
Pardon?
Do you need to put her name in here into the resolution to appoint her?
You've got to appoint her, it doesn't matter who it is, you've got to make the appointment after, who you want. So we can do that at the end, or you can do it now, right after this.
Okay, sounds good.
Discussion? Any other discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passed. And Crystal, you want to say who you want for,
Wendy Cookingham is still my deputy town clerk, so she'll remain.
what's her last name again?
Cookingham, C-O-O-K.
C-O-O-K? Okay. Okay, that takes care of that. 2023 Town Hall hours of operation. Upon the motion of council member and second by council member in the assessor's office, Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Building inspector, Tuesday evenings, 5:30 to 8 p.m. Water commissioner by appointment, town clerk, tax collector offices, Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passes. 2023 public use of town hall, on the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved the town hall community room will be available for use by any resident of the town of Princetown upon appointment and scheduling with the town clerk. Any resident who uses the town hall is responsible for cleaning the meeting room after usage. Discussion?
I have a quick question. In the past, there was a fee for this. We didn't have one last year because we never put one. In the past, it's been $20. I don't know if you want to keep it as a free use. I only rented it 4 times this year, but it's up to you guys.
What do you,
For $20, I don't know if it's worth the paperwork, to be honest with you, the process, $20.
They still fill out an application just to say that they have to sign a
Yeah.
waiver, but I didn't charge
It was,
anything.
for $20, I don't think it's worth the paperwork, but that's my opinion.
I mean, I'm fine letting it be free.
Ben?
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay,
Here's the problem, though.
yeah.
You have to ask, because in the past, people have rented this, or wanted the use of the town hall, and say it was for their, or their family,
Mhm.
and it wasn't. They would just take the town hall and let somebody else use it. So I don't know, you're gonna have to ask those questions when you,
So
because
of
it's
the-
for the residents.
Yeah, of the 4 people I rented to this year, 2 of them were town employees, and there were 2 residents who they signed out the key, and they, you know, when they signed the waiver, they personally are responsible, so I guess outside of saying this is for you, right, I don't know how we can,
You have to ask them that, that's the only thing we can do, or
but they can say yes,
check,
and then we don't really
you
know.
know, but in the past, that's what's happened, it happened many times in the past, and, you know, this is for the residents of the town, we're not gonna be responsible. If somebody gets hurt in here too, you know, we're responsible.
I would say it comes back on that resident that signed the waiver and took the key, either way, right?
Does it,
Or
Gerard?
you could have them sign and have it notarized, and, you know, under penalty of perjury, at least if they want to lie under penalty of perjury,
Okay,
you could potentially pursue them.
yeah, I can do that.
You can do that then?
I agree, so,
You know, the $20 fee won't change that, you know, I think it'll make any
yeah,
difference.
that's why I said it. We're not here sometimes when they rent, so I guess outside of them saying that they promise they're going to be here, there's not really.
Okay, that's a good idea, make them, sign a, yeah, that's a good idea, and then that would probably end it, because then if they're responsible.
Yeah, I'll add it to the bottom of the application.
Okay. Any further discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yeah,
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Web administrator, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Ronnie Edwards be appointed web administrator at an hourly rate of $26.85 per hour, not to exceed $1,040 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll do
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
it. Yes,
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Buildings and Grounds Administrator, upon the motion of council member, seconded by council member, be it resolved that Robert Burgess be appointed Building and Ground Administrator for the Town Hall, the State Police Barracks, including but not limited to mowing, weed eating, landscaping, basic maintenance at $20.80 per hour, term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
second.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes,
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. I might add that Bob doesn't really, those are limited to what he does, because I have to be here anyway, and whenever we hire somebody or do anything, I have to, something breaks, I have to come in and be around for it, as it was the last 2 weeks. So, cleaner. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Nora Carnevale be appointed to the position of town hall cleaner at a rate of $13.53 per hour for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
Didn't we raise that salary?
yeah, that salary ain't right.
That salary doesn't sound right.
minimum wage.
I mean, $13 an hour, that's kind of,
What was the,
You just,
Crystal?
Isla just gave everybody 2% as was stated at the,
but this is unusual, this doesn't sound right. I mean,
Upstate minimum wage is $14.20, you can't do that.
yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Well, it's gotta be 14/20.
Well, honestly, I mean, even that's cheap. I think we should raise it to 15.
You can't do that, we already passed our budget.
Yeah, but this is illegal, you can't do
So
that.
we can do the 14, but we already passed our budget, we can't go whatever we did in the budget. Unless we amend the budget, can we do that, Jordan?
You could amend the budget.
Well, that's a process. I mean, I don't mind going to
You still
14
gotta
something,
amend
it
it
just doesn't
because you're
sound
raising
right.
it to 14.20,
They don't need to amend it
so make
anyway.
it 15.
Well, $14.20 is like New York State minimum
Right, but
wage.
what he's saying is we still have to go back and amend the budget just to change it to minimum wage.
I don't know what we did.
and see,
I
so
don't
here,
think-
her salary comes out of the town hall line also, just like with buildings and grounds, so it's not like with any of our salaries that we would go over hers, it's just now we're gonna have to stay within that, within the town hall budget. So just keep that that in mind, it should do that increase. It's not like you have to go back and amend the budget for her specifically. It's, that was the town hall line, yes.
I see.
So it'll be $1420.
It's whatever you want it to be, we'll just have to keep an eye on it as we get closer to the end of the year.
It just seems like that's not enough money for any
No.
employee of ours.
No.
Well, can't you transfer the money in if that line got used completely? So it's not,
I'm just gonna hit the minutes real quick.
it's a just budget.
You can keep going, you got a quorum.
No, it's part of
Like I
that.
said, it's not even a line of its own.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah,
14 seems low. I mean, I know that's minimum, but
Do 15 now.
I'm fine with
yeah,
that.
it's only 80 cents above minimum wage, it's not,
Okay.
All right, we'll do
we're talking
15.
$5 a week instead of, whatever it is.
Okay.
Then we'll change it to 15.
Okay.
She's not here 40 hours a week, right? I mean,
She's here Wednesday morning and Sundays.
yeah, it's not, I mean, you're talking $8 maybe
Yeah.
per week.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll have Isla keep an eye on it for you guys, just in case it affects anything, but I don't think it's going to with that line.
Okay.
I'll make the move.
I'll second it.
Okay, Councilman Pavoldi.
Oh, he just went to the,
Didn't notice he got it.
Must be
Councilman
one
Jefferson.
late.
That's okay. Councilwoman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
yes, resolution passed. Did you say that?
Yes.
I didn't hear it. DCO appointment. Upon the motion of council member, second by council member, be it resolved that Ben Moore be appointed as a dog control officer at an annual salary of $1,673 and will reimburse DCO for cell phone at a rate of $35 per month for a term to expire 12/31/23. You want to go around chasing dogs again?
Certainly. They're all well behaved.
Okay, discussion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
This is your dog appointment, DCO.
Okay,
Councilman Pavoldi.
yes,
Councilman Jefferson. Councilwoman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passes. Building inspector enforcement, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Thomas Barini be appointed as building inspector and code enforcement officer at an hourly rate of $27.48 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavoldi.
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passes. Town clerk, or court clerk, excuse me. Upon the motion of council member, seconded by council member, be it resolved that Carolyn Bell be appointed court clerk at a rate of $17.83 per hour for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavoldi.
Yes,
Councilman Jefferson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes, resolution passes. Deputy court clerk. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that in the absence of the court clerk, the elected judge will act as his or her own court clerk. Discussion? Is
I'll
there-
make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Pavoldi.
Yes,
Councilman Jefferson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Yes. Resolution passed. ZBA chair appointment. Upon the motion of council member, seconded by council member, be it resolved that Jack White be appointed ZBA chair with a 183.60 step in for the per meeting case and an additional $80 per additional meeting for same case not to exceed $1,200 per year for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion?
This should be 1,500, you said 12.
Oh, excuse me, 12, thank you, Doug, 1,500. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Well, hang on a second. I'm sorry, Doug,
That's okay.
but, they didn't meet at all last year. Not at all, not one meeting.
I don't think the year before we met.
Never met the year before. Do you think we should be paying that? They're supposed to go to get training, and none of them ever do. I think one person did out of that whole board last year. And we don't pay the planning board unless they show up. Am I correct?
correct.
That's written the same way here, you only get paid.
I know, but they wanted it last year, and we did end up paying them
Paying them
for not
$1,500?
having one meeting.
the 1,500?
Yeah? I don't know, to me, that doesn't seem right, you know, we're trying to save as much money as we can with what's going on over here with these buildings, the state police building and this building itself.
But the language, the language doesn't indicate, to me, the language indicates that you get that per meeting. Unless I'm
They
reading
paid
it.
last year, and we ended up paying them.
Yeah, but that's not really what the language is in this motion.
I know,
They didn't put in for anything for 2022.
No.
Yeah.
but we ended up paying them.
No, well, you might have been 2021. For this year, they didn't request to be paid.
Yeah.
No, but they will.
Okay.
That's what they did last
So
year.
they can do what they
Well,
want,
right
the
now,
language doesn't
that's-
indicate that.
Can't pay.
Yeah.
Unless we change this motion to indicate it, this is not how that, it's not how it reads.
I
It
know
sounds
last year
like you
we
show
ended,
up, you get paid, not whether or not there's a meeting.
I mean,
You could put a minimum in, $250 or something, just because you're on call.
$250 for
I'm
the.
just saying a minimum fee if you want.
Just leave it like this, I mean.
They don't
If you
show
want
up.
to pay them a yearly stipend, it has, this language has to change. This language is
Well,
ambiguous.
I think the argument is we don't want to pay them a yearly stipend.
If they have.
Right.
They don't need,
The current language, though, indicates that they get paid if they have the meeting.
only if they have meetings.
Unless I'm reading it wrong.
That's what it sounds like to me,
Yeah.
that you only get paid.
I know,
Yeah,
that-
and
I
then if
know
you
that's
look
what
at
it
the
said,
next
and that's
one-
what it said last year, we
And then the
ended up
next
paying
one,
them,
well,
because they complained about it.
yeah, but if we're not gonna have a meeting.
It has to be a case though, right?
So we're good with this language then?
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Doug?
Yeah.
Jim?
Yeah.
Okay. Crystal?
Now, if you're
Oh,
gonna
we
make
have
the
a
motion,
motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yeah.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. ZBA stipends. Upon the motion of council member and second by council member, be it resolved that each member of the ZBA receives a stipend $222.92 per member per year, contingent on that the ZBA holding a meeting for a case. Do we need that one in there?
Well, that's for the members.
Yeah, the first one goes for
They're a
your,
different board, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they're
this next
differently
one's for each
defined.
member.
Yeah.
For the CRC.
These are both ZBA.
Yeah, they both say ZBA, that's what I said.
This one basically says if there's one meeting, they get.
Oh, the previous one was for the chair, this one is for the members.
This one says they do get paid if there's one meeting.
So they can have one meeting and they get paid.
That's what it says.
They get paid at 222.
Right.
Each member would get $222.
Yes.
If they hold at least one meeting.
And we got 5 members.
So.
There's usually more than one meeting on, if the ZRC, meets, probably 2 or 3 by the time they don't
There's
do the
5.
hearing, they don't do the hearing and resolve it in the same meeting. So regardless, it'd be more than one meeting per year if the ZBA, met for whatever case.
I don't have a problem with this language on this particular one.
Ben?
I mean, in all likelihood, they're not going to be. I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
It depends what happens, it just depends what's going on. I mean, the one year we had maybe like 2 or 3 meetings. The past couple years, we haven't had any, no one's needed a variance.
So the way this is worded, Jack White would be paid for every meeting, where the rest of the ZBA just gets a stipend as long as there is one meeting. Doesn't matter if there's 1 or if there's 12.
So you're,
I'm just a little bit, right?
okay.
Yeah, that's the way I'm reading it, that's how the
222
language
per
looks to me.
member per year. Yeah, so each of them gets just, or each of them, no matter how many meetings there are, is 222 a year, right?
Yeah,
Per member.
is the
Sorry.
ZBA chair a significant amount of work compared to everybody else?
I mean, yeah, he does more stuff, he's got to coordinate everything, but, I mean, he's still showing up to the same amount of meetings as everybody else. Well, planning board, you get paid per, how come it's not the same as planning board? If planning board is 92 per meeting, Shouldn't the
I know.
ZBA do the same?
92 per meeting, but this is one price, 222, regardless of how many meetings. So if they meet 10 times, it's $20 a shot.
Okay, right.
I mean, it's unlikely they would meet that often,
Unlikely, right.
but the reality is it's 222 regardless of the number of
How many
meetings.
meetings did the planning board
We
have?
had one every month, we had 12 meetings.
You had 12 meetings?
Yeah, 'cause we had a busy year. Yeah, we
Has
had
there been
12
some
meetings.
that, there've been some we've had extra meetings?
Yeah, we've had to have a special meeting.
Just some years we had 14 meetings.
Yeah, it depends.
Mhm.
Also, the planning and zoning boards, their budgets were based on these, so if you wanted to amend this, that might change the budget. Just so you know.
That's true.
So maybe you look at it next year if you don't.
Yeah, I would say if you want to change it next year. It's current.
All right,
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to make the motion that we accept this.
okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Kristen?
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. You're gonna hear about this though, because last year they got paid for not showing up for any meetings, so be prepared.
You didn't do nothing, then no one get paid.
They didn't do anything last year either. CBA secretary appointment, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Nicole Mora be appointed secretary of the ZBA at an hourly rate of $16.87 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead,
Councilman
Crystal.
Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Abstain.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. ZRC secretary appointment, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Nicole Mora be appointed as secretary of the zoning review committee at an hourly rate of $16.87 for a term to expire
We
12/31/20.
just did that.
No, it's,
You did.
okay.
No, it's the second.
There's a motion about that.
You forgot the appointments for zoning review committee. The one
Go on,
right there.
this one.
Yep,
Oh, this is one I own.
Yep, you just
Excuse
skipped.
me. Appointment to zoning review committee for 2023, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Paul Hasbrook, Doug Thorpe, Jack White, Michael Grippo, and Cindy Matthews be appointed to the ZRC to expire 12/31/23. Discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. ZRC secretary appointment. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that Nicole Moore be appointed as secretary to the zoning review committee at an hourly rate of $16.87 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion.
I'll make.
Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Abstain.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Planning board chair appointment. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Carol McLean be appointed chair of the planning board for a term to expire 12/31/23 at an annual salary of $5,532. Discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Planning board member appointment. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that Doug Thorpe be appointed planning board member for a term to expire 12/31/2029. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Planning board secretary, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that Nicole Moore be appointed secretary of the planning board on an hourly rate of $16.87 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion.
I'll make the
Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Abstain.
Councilman Gray?
motion. Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Planning board stipends, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that each member of the planning board receive a stipend of $92.82 per meeting. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Councilman Delory,
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. PAC chair. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that Greer Pomeroy be appointed as a PAC chair at an annual stipend of $220 for a term to expire 12/31/23. Discussion.
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Resolution passed. PAC member, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that Kathy Nielsen is appointed as a PAC member for a term to expire 12/31/26. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. PAC member, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that Gloria Schaefer is appointed PAC member for a term to expire 12/31/26. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. PAC stipends, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be resolved that each member of the PAC committee receives a stipend of $112.50 yearly. Discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
I was planning, right?
That's planning.
Isn't somebody's term expected? Not once every year?
What?
Not a member every year?
No, I don't think so. Do we have?
It didn't really make sense with me with the appointments and who was due when, but nobody was due up in 2022 for that board. Not sure when they were appointed or how that rotation worked out, but.
Okay. Before we go any farther over here, brought to my attention about one of the members of the PAC committee, of what's been going on up there with his land and that he had rented. We all know the problems, what he did up there. He was cited for various issues that he had. I was up there with the building inspector when all of this went down. Apparently, he's still doing the same thing up there. Can we remove him as a member of the PAC committee?
Well, you appointed him for a term, right?
He was
Yes.
appointed last year through 2024.
I mean, I suspect there's a process that has to be gone through if you're gonna try to remove him. I don't think you can just do it. He has to have the right to notice, just like a public official. But I'd have to check if you're right. I think you would fall into the same process that, appointed or elected officials, I think, fall into the same process. I have to check, because he's just appointed, but I can check on it.
He was given 2 citations, and he hasn't corrected any of the problems. We did have, he was turned into the Environmental Conservation Department, and they did go up there, and he had corrected some of the things that he was cited for. But I guess he still has people living in the trailers up there, and who knows what else is going on, butchering the goats. I don't know if he's still.
Does that, if we did take him off, does that have to be done today, or can it be done in a future town board meeting?
I don't know.
Well, we have to go through the process, he's got to be served with a notice,
Yeah.
he's, we gotta get.
So we can't do it
there's a
today.
hearing, and he's actually in front of the court, if he falls under the same as a public official.
When did we do that? Chris?
Last year.
Year?
And they're 4-year terms.
If he fights it,
That's certainly not a good representative of the PAC committee. Well, I guess,
let me look at it, I haven't done anything today, but I can see if you're able to just remove him, or if they have to go through the process. We have a meeting next week anyway, so I'll get back to you.
okay. All right. Then we'll table it until next week. Okay, hiring of the videographer. Upon the motion of council member, seconded by council member, be resolved that Dem Moore is hired to audio and videotape each regular scheduled town board meeting as needed at a, what is that, $50 for the first hour and $20 per each 15 minutes interval? No?
You guys keep it under an hour, so I'll give you a little grace period.
It's 25, it's
I know.
25.
I know, I'm only kidding. Ben Moore is hired to audio and videotape each regular town board meeting and as needed at $100 for the first hour and $25 for each 15-minute interval. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Ballou?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Thought you'd get a chuckle out of that. Mileage reimbursement rate. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that 62.5 cents per mile be reimbursed to town officials for use of personal vehicles on town business per the New York State Controller. Discussion?
I do have discussion on that, just so everybody knows. Lou does a lot of running around, uses his truck, he's got a big truck that he uses, and I don't think he's ever applied for this heading.
Never.
You know, just make a note of that so people know, town taxpayers never get charged for this. I don't know why he doesn't, but he doesn't, and I think at least we should make a note of that.
I also would like to say that Nick Moore Sr. and Nick Moore Jr. have never put in for any reimbursement.
I don't think anybody on the council has,
I never have.
to be honest with you, I don't know.
Nobody on the town board.
How about me with a tractor?
No, you haven't done it either.
None of us have really applied for that, I mean, just so people know, taxpayers know,
I haven't done it either.
you know, well, this is, I mean, you're entitled to, but as if you,
It's not a big deal.
most of us have not done it, just so taxpayers know. I'll make the motion, by the way.
Is there a second? I'll second it, Crystal.
Okay, Councilman Ballou?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Let's see. Utilities, is that what that is? Yes. Utilities, insurance, credit cards, and postage. Upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that all utility, phone, insurance, credit cards, and postage bills will be prepaid to avoid penalties. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Ballou?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Special committees on the motion of council, seconded by council member, be it resolved that the following committee chair appointments are made. Recycle Day, Greer Pomeroy, Zoning Review Committee, Jack White, Unified Communication, council member Vivaldi and Supervisor Esposito. Discussion,
I'll make the motion.
just a note, Jim, that's the 9/11 one.
Right.
Jim attends most of those meetings.
I don't need to abstain from that, even though I mentioned, right?
No, and he attends most of those meetings, and Nicole has filled in when Jim was in the hospital, I think, a couple times, I
I
think.
think so. Yeah.
Yes, so I just wanted to make that point. Jim does a great job representing the town at these 9/11 meetings with the county. Okay, was there a
I
second?
make the motion, it's going to be second.
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Ballou?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo? Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Town board meetings, upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that the Princetown Town Board will hold its regularly scheduled meeting on the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m., 165 Princetown Plaza, Schenectady, New York. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Councilman Ballou?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Filing a financial report upon the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved, supervisor and/or his designee is hereby authorized and directed to prepare and file with the town clerk the annual financial report within 120 days of the close of the 2022 fiscal year and direct the town clerk to publish the necessary legal notice. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll make it. Per second.
Okay, Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yeah.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Town board meeting policy. Upon the motion of council member, seconded by council member, be it resolved that cell phone usage will be prohibited by town board members during all town board meetings. Discussion,
I'll make the motion.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
No.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. MBT Bank as depository, I don't think we need to read that, do we?
Is the date at the bottom correct? Is that supposed to be 2023? Way at the bottom of that first page, up on the first page,
Which page are you looking at?
It's
right
right
here.
here.
Oh,
It says January 2nd, 2020, I don't know. Is it out of date?
Crystal,
That for MBT probably does need to be changed.
should be 2023.
I don't even understand the sentence.
I don't either.
I don't know, it wasn't changed last year, so I guess that's, but I didn't put the agenda together last year, so I was just assuming that that was part of our original agreement with them, but
It almost looks like a typo.
it could be.
Yeah.
So just take the whole date out.
I don't even think it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay. Relate to anything.
So we can just say provides that the bank acts in good faith and resolve that.
I mean, I'd go back and maybe a couple years and check, maybe something else got deleted.
Okay.
So the motion then is to accept them as a bank of depository, and I'll make the motion. Unless you want to read this whole thing.
No, I don't want, Crystal wants
I'd
to.
rather not, if there's something else to.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Thank you. Schedule audit meeting for 2022, the books. On the motion of council member and seconded by council member, be it resolved that the town board schedule the audit meeting for Tuesday, January 10th, 2023 at 6 p.m. before the regular town board meeting. The town clerk is authorized to post the necessary notices. That's going to give us enough time, an hour before the meeting, to review the books.
That's
That's what you did last year.
That's what we did last year.
So we're meeting at six,
Available?
we're meeting at 6 o'clock then on Tuesday, correct?
Yes, that's next Tuesday. Is that good with everybody? Ben? Doug? Nicole?
That's good.
Jim? You're okay
Yes.
with it?
Mhm.
Okay. Crystal? Oh, we need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Diane Bishop, your sister, she doesn't want to be on the planning board anymore.
She was just an alternate anyway, but
I don't know why, but she notified Crystal that she doesn't want to be on the board.
She's not gonna be around much.
So Carol had suggested Middleton. I don't remember his first name, I was a neighbor of his up on
Mike or something?
Middleton. He lived down the road from you, down one of those new homes.
Yeah, Howard Jones,
What's his first name?
Mike.
Mike Middleton. yeah.
I don't know, Carol was gonna get a hold of him and ask him if he wanted to be on the planning board. I've got no objection to him, I know his family, I know his father,
Who's this
played
from?
basketball. He's an electrician.
Yeah, just for disclosure, they were.
Tommy Mills.
Yeah, Tom Middleton. I don't know, she hasn't gotten back to me to
No,
see if he was gonna, can we wait until next week for that appointment?
We've done appointments in January and February before.
Pardon?
You've done appointments in January
Yeah, I
and
know.
February in the past. so.
Then we'll wait till next week, but I just wanted to let you know that she's an alternate on there. Diane was an alternate on there, and she did notify you of that.
Down there, no.
Melanie Whiteley also did not want to be appointed.
Who?
Melanie Whiteley.
Oh, yes, and that's the other one. Melanie doesn't want to be, that's another problem. She was doing the coordinator for the planning board as the planner. And she has notified Crystal and myself that she doesn't want to be the coordinator anymore. So we're left with what we're going to do as a planner. I don't know if anybody realizes what that cost is going to be to the town if we hire a planner. You're not going to find one for, I don't know what we paid the last time. I think it was, the first one, I think it was Santa Barbara, when he was here, I think that was about $8,000 a year, whether they had a meeting or not. And then we had one who was under Mike's, Joyce's administration. We were paying like, I think, $12,000. Did you notice that? Was that a right figure, Crystal?
I'm not sure. Let's see.
I think it was closer to $12,000 we paid her. We're gonna have to come up with a planner somehow.
You'd like a planner for another town and just do it part-time?
I was thinking of asking the
That's
planner
what they
from
did, because we
Rotterdam.
were with Dwaynesburg, I think.
Pardon?
Wasn't the one that, the last one we had was in Dwaynesburg, too?
Yes, you're right. She did that, but then she moved.
Does Dwaynesburg still have one?
Oh, I'm sure they got one.
You know, we
Most
got-
towns, I don't know if it's a requirement or not, but you
Not a
should have it.
requirement, but you really need to have somebody there.
It makes things easier.
Yeah, it does for
We're
planning.
gonna look into see who's available and if they're willing to do it.
I was looking at Rotterdam, but I don't know with the problems they've got over
Rotterdam's
there.
a big town, they probably don't want to.
Well, they got a time plan. I don't know if you want to be involved in our town anyway with the problems they have.
Peter's pretty good at it, I mean,
You know.
Menzo, yeah, he's been there a long time. I mean, if he would do it, you know, at a cost that you could afford, he's knowledgeable.
Well, I know
It'd be
he's
very
knowledgeable.
helpful to have somebody like that here.
Well,
You
I
know,
can reach
what
out
about-
to
what
them.
Pay him on a per diem basis or per
What
hour
about
basis.
putting out to town residents for somebody who wants to do it
Gotta be
as the
certified,
stipend, just like the planning board member?
supposed to be licensed.
You don't have to be licensed to be a
Yes, you
town
do.
planner,
Yes, you do.
okay?
Well,
Yes, you do. We let Melanie go by with this. You gotta
She
be a
technically
licensed
wasn't
planner. You
planning,
gotta have the
we called her
degree, if
planning
I'm not
coordinator.
mistaken.
Around
We
it.
didn't hire her technically as a planner, I think Nicole's right.
yeah,
Yeah, we
well,
didn't hire her as a planner.
Right, but she was like the coordinator, we call it
liaison or
planner.
coordinator.
Yeah. You
And then she didn't
can't,
have to get paid as much. We like worked our way around it, didn't we?
yes, we did. He was the coordinator. We didn't have her as a planner. But if we're gonna hire a planner, they should be certified in that. And it does say that. Isla pointed that out to me.
Well, why don't we look into the Rotterdam planner, just ask and see, because, I mean,
I know, I've been in meetings with him.
it's not like it's gonna be a huge amount of work, but if he's willing to pay, you know, do it on a per,
You know, if he's got the time for it, or if he wants to do it, or be involved, I don't know. We can check with Dwaynesburg too. We definitely need somebody.
Well, the problem, is when you don't have one, the residents come in with an application, they get no guidance, no.
No, then they just gotta go to Carol,
It's a big disaster.
and then she's gotta present it to the planning board, and
It prolongs the process and then the residents get mad because they have to keep coming back. Where Melanie was telling them everything they needed
Right.
and they got everything done right before they came.
and as long as he can use the telephone and the internet, he doesn't really have to be here, everything can be done. You know, it's nice if he was here, but he
You
doesn't
know.
have to be here.
I've been in meetings with him, Zoom meetings, and talked to him on the phone on different occasions. You know, he's been involved in CDTC, that I go to all those meetings. But,
But we got a meeting coming up anyway,
Yeah,
shortly.
I'll reach out to him and see
Yeah,
if
we'll
he's
reach out to him,
interested.
see what.
But we definitely gotta have somebody. You know, we definitely need somebody to help do this.
The hourly rate we budgeted for her was $19.38 an hour, just in case you wanted to.
Well,
For Melanie?
When we were gonna
Yeah,
read-
that's not gonna fly with a license
no,
planner.
no.
No, but We'll deal with that through the regular meetings. You're not gonna get a license planner for $20 an hour.
No. I know it was, like I said, we were upwards of 12,000 at one time. And I know it was 8,000 when we had one here before. And then the last one was, I think, around 12, which is a big bite in our budget with what's gotta be done around the town hall.
Is there a former planning board member that knows a bit that could just be a coordinator like Melanie and not an actual planner?
Who would that be, Doug?
I think we could find somebody who, is interested, in town, or
Yeah, but
as a coordinator, somebody probably would like to do that for $20 an hour. You don't have to be a planner, but somebody who knows enough, even like Middleton, or somebody who wants to be involved.
Well,
Or
Gerard said,
Jen
they
Leslie,
really gotta
or
know what
they-
they're doing, they can't, when somebody calls, they gotta know.
I understand, but there's gotta be, at least try that path, maybe Jen's an alternate, see if maybe Jen wants to do it as a coordinator, or someone else, before we take that, the plunge of big money, to see if we can, have somebody come in and might find somebody that is interested to be involved like that.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody now.
You know?
I know we got away with it before, but you gotta have somebody knowledgeable. You don't wanna give them the wrong advice.
No.
That's the problem. Before they come into the planning board, and then the planning board says, oh no, that's not the way it works.
Maybe you can
Has to be somebody that,
maybe you can streamline the process, the coordinator could be here, 2 hours every week, and that's the window. If you were gonna come in and do, an application to the town, it's Wednesday at 7 PM for those 2 hours that week. Maybe you can find somebody to do, that instead of it's all over the place. Call in and it making a big thing. Kind of like, set it up like the building inspector,
Yeah, you could, we just need somebody knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So here, the plug for Carol is when I get a lot of these calls with residents with questions when we're here Monday through Wednesday, and Carol is here at the same time, she picks up those calls and she talks to those people
and
rather
she
than
does.
sending them to Melanie. Outside of her own, job, she does all that already, so. She goes above and beyond.
The other option is, could we pay Carol extra and have her do it?
That's
I mean, that would be
I asked her that, she don't want
she don't want to do
got enough.
it. Did you say that we pay her more?
No, I didn't, she just said she
I think
didn't
it's a
want to
good
do it.
idea having-
No, not
No.
being planning board
Alright.
chair. No, and then she said she wasn't interested in it.
Yeah.
She said she's got enough on her plate.
All right, well, we can continue this then at the next regular meeting, right?
Yeah, do we have anything
Can't
coming
resolve
up?
anything
Do we have anything
here.
coming up on a planning board?
No, not normal meeting end of January, right?
I know of.
I mean, nothing's really crazy going on right now, so.
We resolved the last couple applications, so I don't think there's anything pending.
Nothing major, right?
Nothing, no.
Other than down the road over here, whenever that transpires. Okay, I guess,
One more question I had with the farm stand permit, we weren't able to put that on the organizational meeting because we have to have a public hearing to amend the fee schedule for the application for that. Do you want to do that in January or February or?
what was that for again?
Farm stand permit,
The what?
farm stand permit.
Oh, yes, that's the other thing.
We have to hold a public hearing before you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even have what we're gonna,
Tommy put together an application and the fee, you just have to approve it. So we have to pick a meeting to do that.
it's too late to do it for next week.
Oh, we have to have a hearing first.
Yeah, so February would
So-
probably be the
So it's
better.
gotta be done in March.
Schedule a meeting hearing next meeting.
For the February meeting,
Yeah.
we do, yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
You got the resolution there he gave you.
Yep, yep.
Okay, yeah, he did mention that to me.
We'll schedule a hearing in January and vote in February.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Ben? Nothing, Jim?
No.
Doug? Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all for coming.